Hello and welcome back to metalk-tv. It's Rena and I'm so happy that you decided to join me on today. Y'all, before we get started, I want to let you know that I do have links down in the bottom of the description that you can go and get anything you want off of my Amazon storefront and Amazon affiliate link. If you have been with me for a while now, let me bring the microphone closer, I'm sorry. If you have been with me for a while now, you know that I have a Amazon affiliate link, which some of you are having problems with bed bugs. So if you go down there, you can get 3 products that will help you get rid of bed bugs. And the number 1 product is this handheld steamer. It will be down there linked in the description. Also, I have other things linked in the description. So go down the list and make sure you check it twice. So I love you guys. Also, I have various stores that I do, that I do online, which I have Avon, all of that. All of that will be linked down in the bottom. I have a podcast. Come on, y'all. Support your girl. Patronize. Thank you. And I just thank you so much for everything you've done. Now let's get to the story at hand. The story at hand is very, very sad, very gruesome. I hate to have to bring you this story because it's one that I've never heard about in my whole life. As long as I've been on this earth, I've never heard anyone doing this. Now, a grandmother was taken out by her own daughter and granddaughter. Watch this.
Georges County in Maryland. Of course, we're following a story there, and I want to put a tweet from our Fox 5 team as the Maryland mother and daughter have been charged in the murder of 71-year-old grandmother. Police say they found human remains in a trash bags in the basement and a chainsaw. They both appeared in a Prince George's County courtroom this afternoon at 1:15 p.m. Eastern. Of course, following this very closely here on Live Now from Fox, as authorities say a mother and her daughter have been charged in connection with murdering the family's grandmother. Police have charged 44-year-old Candace Craig with first and second degree murder. Her 19-year-old daughter is also charged with accessory after the fact.
So I just wanted to come in and talk about this story real quick. I really think this is a very, very bad, sad, gruesome situation here. Like, why would you take your own mother out, the one that gave you birth, the one that brought you here in this world, and the fact that you would have your own granddaughter to do this as well, like, it's just sad. It's shocking. Like, I've never heard anything like this in my life. Like, your mother should be your world. Kids these days and back then would be like, don't talk about my mom. It'd be a whole fight when it comes to your mom. So to see a story like this is just really tragic. Like, why would, I just don't understand.
Let's take you out to some remarks here, live, raw, and unfiltered, on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, what can you say as far as what happened at the hearings today? No bond status. I missed part of it. Was it said that all of the victim and the 2 defendants lived all together?
So the victim and, we believe that the victim and the 2 defendants were all connected to the house in some way. Obviously, they were all related. And today, the 2 defendants were held without bond in this case.
Okay, so they're saying that the 2 suspects were connected to the house in some way. So they was living with the grandmother because that was the grandmother's house. And sometimes conflict can happen when you want somebody to move. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I'm just saying that sometimes things can break out if someone's living with you and then you just be like, it's time for y'all to move, time to go. So that could have been the situation, but we will see. Keep on watching.
Do we know how she actually died at this point?
At this point, that is still under investigation. The ME is involved, and hopefully we'll have a cause of death shortly.
Is that something that can be determined with a body that mutilated, or is that
with the extent of the injuries, with the dismemberment, it is going to be very difficult. I think that the ME's office will do their best to give us a cause and manner of death. But in this case, which is unlike any case I have ever seen or experienced here in the county. I mean, to say it's disturbing is an understatement. It's horrifying. The allegations contained in the statement of charges is just heartbreaking. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that this is Elder Abuse Awareness Month, and it's important, I think, to note in this case that someone related to our victim was concerned enough about her whereabouts that they reached out to do a welfare check. And the Prince George's County Police Department is a wonderful resource, as well as all of our municipal departments. They do these welfare checks because of someone caring enough to reach out, because our department was doing its job. We uncovered a horrific crime. And so our job now is to ensure that our victim gets justice, and that is what we're going to do. Jess Garth, who's the chief of our Special Victims and Family Violence Unit, I'm going to ask her to come up and talk a little bit about, some of the facts as we provided in court today for those of you who weren't there. So Jess?
I just want to elaborate a little bit more. And I just want to say thank God that someone reached out to, like, where is the grandma? Like, they reached out. Thank God that someone took the initiative to do that, because there's no telling how long the body would have sat in there if they did not reach out and do a welfare check. Watch this.
Good afternoon. As the state's attorney said, somebody did come forward and contacted the police department and asked the police to do a welfare check. At the time that the officer arrived at the home, they were allowed to enter the home by one of the residents. In the basement, they uncovered the putrefying remains of the decedent in this case. They locked down the scene, they went and got a search warrant. And what they uncovered was, as the state's attorney said, one of the most disturbing crimes I think that this county has seen, at least, in recent times. It looks like there was some sort of a disagreement between Miss Craig and her mother, the decedent. Sounds like at that time she opted to take the life of her mother. And then after that, she and her daughter dismembered the body, we believe using a chainsaw, and then attempted to dispose of the parts of the body using fire on a grill and in a bonfire, according to the investigation so far. This is a case that's still under investigation. We do anticipate that we'll have additional facts that we develop along the way. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Is there any guess as to how long she may have been died before the police were called?
I don't know. There is some indication that the fire department was called out on May 27th to investigate one of the fires that was being used to dispose of the body parts, but further than that, I can't say.
So at least almost like a week, I guess. And
yes.
Obviously, we've kind of gotten to recognize you a little bit because you've been involved with some pretty gruesome cases.
Unfortunately, so.
Yeah, some pretty unfortunate stuff. And up there, you kind of talked about how this is one of the worst that you've ever seen. Can
yes.
you just add a little more context out here?
Sure. Well, I talk a lot about domestic violence, and often it's in the context of intimate partner violence, but family violence is, just as much a part of domestic violence. And in many ways, we're talking about people who they are supposed to be protecting one another, caring for one another. When you're talking about your elderly parents as they get older, it's our duty as children to protect our parents. And certainly our duty to not murder them and then to dispose of them in such a gruesome way. When I think about this case, I think about how hard it is to actually dismember a human body. I mean, some people have difficulty, even cooking food, dealing with things like raw chicken. And when you're thinking about a body and then burning it, it just it's very hard for me to think about, especially when you're talking about somebody who gave birth to you, who raised you. So yeah.
Is it safe to say you may never know how exactly she was killed?
As the state's attorney said, our medical examiner's office is going to do everything that they can do. It is possible that some of the evidence was destroyed, that we may need to determine the exact, way that she was taken from us. But I think it's safe to say that this case will be ruled a homicide.
Any update on the knife that was on the floor and then was missing when the police went back?
I don't have any particular details. I do know a search warrant was executed. They collected many different tools, and they'll be tested for DNA and for blood as well.
And we heard from Jess in court, but Madam State's Attorney, is this the most gruesome murder that you've seen in your time?
I mean, absolutely. On so many different levels. The fact that this was a mother, there's, I don't believe I've had a case where a mother was killed by a daughter. And I certainly don't believe I've ever seen a case where a mother was not only killed by her daughter, but dismembered by her daughter and her granddaughter. So just the thought of people who are in your lineage, people who are supposed to be carrying on your legacy, being a part of your demise is almost unbelievable. And then not only but the death, but the dismemberment of the body being found in multiple bags, decaying in a home. I'm at a loss.
Were these slightly different subject? Can I just ask one more? Were these like trash bags, gym bags, like?
The information I have is that they were plastic bags, but I don't know the size at this time.
So some sort of trash bag type of thing.
I would imagine.
Okay.
And was this home the grandmother's home?
Yes.
Baby K. Been asked to dig on it a little more.
Yeah,
I learned that
sure.
he was on probation potentially at the time of the alleged attack on the bus and thing in the district. Not registered in any school anywhere. It's also been determined. Should DJS have been supervising this child? If a child is on probation, should someone have been making sure he was kind of in school and living life?
Because
Was it a failure with DJS?
I knew you were going to ask that question. I think it's fair to say I've had a number of conversations with DJS, and as late as Friday, I've been in contact with the new Secretary of Juvenile Services. I think that DJS is, in many cases, overwhelmed just like other agencies, especially public safety agencies. But we all have to do better because our young people have to be in school. Those who are on probation actually have to be supervised. And if they are supposed to be participating in programs, then they have to be accountable for participating in those programs. I think that there's a lot of work to be done at DJS. I think that, and I've spoken to the governor personally about it, and he's committed to looking at resources that we need to add to our Department of Juvenile Services to ensure that the services that they do provide are actually meaningful to the people who they serve. A lot of the services are really controlled at the state level.
Okay, so I'm going to end this story by, saying I'm sending up prayers. I'm sending up prayers because it's sad and it's tragic and it's gruesome what this grandma had to endure at the hands of her own daughter and granddaughter. So I just want you all to pray for the victims. Pray for the victim, the family of the victim, all of this. Just pray. Because, y'all, we are seeing some things in this time in life that we've never seen before. And it's like things seem like to be getting worse, especially when it comes to families. Like, no, we're supposed to love each other. Love is the most important thing. Now, listen. I want you to go ahead, like this video, give it a thumbs up. I will send you more videos if you will just give a thumbs up. That just helps with my channel, okay? Also, leave a comment. What do you think about this story? Please leave me a comment down there and really respect the family in the comment section, okay? Also, share this video, with your family and friends because you never know who's going through out there and may need to see this story so they can check on their loved ones as well. I love you guys. Be blessed, and I will see you next time on metalk-tv. Blessings to you.